why the anger? What makes
Fear, lack of abundance, self-loathing, judgment, lack of gratitude.
Yeah.
Whatever way you want to say that again, it comes right back down to learning emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is gratitude. It's being grateful just for being alive, being grateful to be healthy, to be grateful to love. It stems from these very basic but such important places in us, is to open my eyes and say, I need this, saying, hi world, thank you for another day. What can I put into the world to make it better? What can I do? What can I do to contribute? And it's a funny thing, being of service takes you out of yourself and often can help heal you in that moment. Because we're so busy being these self-centered narcissists all the time. I want, I don't have it, right? So to be
Needs
able
machines.
to, and it's a muscle. This thinking, the thinking helps us, we practice a type of thinking. We change our perception. We make a choice about what we're willing to think about. We make a choice about what we're willing to talk about. I have a friend, all she wants to do is, during the whole Trump thing, I said, not having this conversation.
Right.
There's people that are addicted to pain and suffering.
Right.
It's just a fact.
I think that gives them the meaning.
It does.
That makes them feel empowered. It's
self-righteous justification.
Yeah.
It's absolutely that.
And it's very similar sometimes, I find, to sports.
Yeah.
Right. It's an intellect, it's a political form of sports where the ability to criticize a person who spent their whole life training, has agility beyond capacity of most people, has the endurance beyond the capacity of most people, and the skills required to perform this, and the dedication and determination for years, just their life is spent doing this. And then it's easy to you point fingers and be like, oh, you idiot, how'd you drop the ball in front of the entire world who's watching you? How could you do something like that? And I think there's a level, because sometimes there's a feeling that those people are playing and doing it, it gives them a little bit of power to criticize someone else who's doing it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's similar to in politics, where you're not involved, you're not doing much, you're living your life and whatever, you're not doing much in terms of service for the community, you're not civically active.
Yeah.
But to point fingers and criticize how other people are doing things gives you a feeling of that, meaning that you do have the power and the control.
Yeah, it's self-righteous superiority. And it does. Unfortunately, people feel empowered with anger, instead of it being empowered by love. Love is so much more powerful.
Right, it's way better.
It's so much more powerful, but people go to the anger because it's easy. It's an easy feeling to bring up. It's uncomplicated, primal.
Fear's our first primal response, right?
Yeah,
so it's sort of a response to that.
But, the way that we have to learn the ways that we shift. And it really is that. As you know, I do my Nam yoga every single morning. Why? Because it helps me shift. It helps me start the day with the right intention. And it's practice changes our brain, it changes our life. Practice. I'm doing it differently today. Yeah. What am I doing for someone else today? If people took a little bit of time in the morning and set intentions, just a little, just set their intentions that today I'm going to add to the world and not worry what the world's giving me. And again, it's easier said than done for everybody. I get that. But I think small steps, and I know I've said this a couple times, but it's really important that people don't have to be overwhelmed by what they think they should do or could do. They can just do little stuff. Little stuff makes a difference. It's lifting your head, and looking someone straight in the face when you're walking by them, saying, "How are you?"
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I feel like we once talked about that years ago.
Could be.
That was like the smallest effort.
Yeah.
in maybe it was in Civic Love or something.
Yeah.
Remember, it was like, but I remember talking to you about that, where it's like the small, that is the atomic level of contribution to a
Yeah.
community. When you walk by a person in your neighborhood who looks safe, we'll say, right?
Yeah.
Generally, you lift your head and smile and say good morning.
Yeah.
Easiest thing you can do,
Yeah.
builds a relationship, makes someone smile, and you just added a smile to the day by smiling at them.
Right.
One smile.
Yeah.
That is the atomic level, I think.
Right. And then what is that trigger? You know, who are they? Are they suddenly responding to someone in the same way?
Yeah.
You know, it is. You know, it is. I don't know who said happiness. It was like a Dalai Lama or some. Happiness is contagious, and I think these small acts are contagious, or they can be the other way. You know, when I used to run restaurants, you know, we'd say the experience starts in the parking lot, right? Because if that person gets a bad experience in the parking lot
Right.
and comes already in with an attitude, then they go to the host and they've got a little bit of edge and the host is like, what is the deal with this person? So she's reacting or he's reacting a certain way. And so by the time they get to the waiter, they're just not very nice people.
It's a great tip for businesses,
Right.
by the way.
Yeah.
You don't hear that a lot.
Right. I used to teach that. It's called guest first service. Guest first service.
That's really good.
Right.
Experience starts in the parking lot.
That's right. It starts in the parking lot.